Today we're going to learn about adding mixed numbers. First, a fresh reminder of improper fractions. If the numerator is equal to or greater than the denominator, it is an improper fraction. To convert mixed numbers to improper fractions, remember the train. So in order to do that, you take the denominator times the whole number, which equals 8, and then you add the numerator, which equals 9. The denominator always stays the same, so our improper fraction is now 9/4, because remember, improper fractions mean that the numerator is larger than the denominator. This is important to remember for adding mixed numbers because we have two different choices when it comes to adding mixed numbers. You can add them as improper fractions, or you can add them as whole numbers and fractions as a part, which is means separately. So this is just an example of improper fractions, adding them, and separately. We're going to go more in depth. So first off, adding by changing to an improper fraction. Step 1, you need to convert the mixed number to the improper fraction, just like I told you the train that I just showed you. Step 2 is find the common denominators if they don't have the same denominator. Step 3, add the numerators, keeping the denominators the same. Step 4, convert back to a mixed number by dividing the fraction. Now I'm going to go in depth and show you these things. So, a quick reminder of converting an improper to a mixed. Okay, so we have an improper fraction right here, 7/3, and it equals 2 1/3. But in order to get that, you divide 3 and 7. So once you solve it, your whole number up here, the 2, becomes your whole number. Your remainder, which is a 1, becomes your numerator, and your denominator is a 3, the same as above, stays the same. So the 3 is here, and that's how they got 2 1/3. They divided. Now, you need to remember those things, converting from improper to mixed, when we are adding fractions. So now we're going to be adding by improper fractions. Step 1 is to convert the mixed number to an improper fraction. So the first fraction we have is 3 2/5 and 1 4/7. In order to convert 3 2/5, you need to multiply the denominator by the whole number, which is 15, and then add the 2, just like your train, which is 17. So now we have a new fraction of 17/5. We do the same for 1 4/7. 7 times 1 plus 4, which is 11. So our new fractions that we're adding are 17/5 and 11/7. So now that we've changed to an improper fraction, we've completed step 1. Step 2 is finding common denominators if they're not the same. Well, we have a denominator of a 5 and a 7, so I know I need to find a common denominator. Well, in order to do that, I need to think of the multiples of 5 and 7, and I know that the closest one they have is 35. So in order to convert my denominator to 35, I have to multiply 17/5 by 7 and 11/7 by 5. 5 times 7 is 35, and 17 times 7 is 119. So now that I've converted that, I'm going to convert 11/7 to 35. 7 times 5 is 35. 11 times 5 is 55. So our new fraction is 119/35 plus 55/35. So all you need to do now is you add your numerators, and your denominator always stays the same. So we have 119 plus 55, which equals 174. And as I said, the denominator stays the same, so it's 35. If your teacher wants it simplified, you're going to have to complete step 4, which is converting back to a mixed number by dividing. Now, adding by using whole and fraction parts separate with common denominators is very easy. There's just 2 steps. Step 1, add the whole number part. Step 2, add the fraction part. Now note that this is common denominators. So in this example, we have 3 2/5 and 1 3/5. So first step, add your whole numbers. 3 plus 1 is 4. Second step, add your fractions. 2 plus 3 is 5. Now we need to simplify. We had a whole number of 4. I know that 5/5 equals 1, so I converted it over here. So I need to add 4 plus 1, and so our answer is 5. Again, you add your mixed, 3 plus 1, which is 4, and then add your fractions as long as they have the same denominator. 2 plus 3 is 5, and then simplify. Now, adding by using whole and fraction parts separate with uncommon denominators. Step 1, you add the whole numbers. Step 2, find common denominators for fractions. Step 3, add the fractions. And again, step 4 is simplify. So we have 9.5 and 5 2/3. This is what we're adding. So step 1 is I want to have the same denominator. So I know that 3 and 2 have a common denominator of 6. So I'm going to turn them to 6. I'm going to leave my whole numbers the same. So 9 plus 5 is 14. I'm going to convert the half to 3/6 because I need to get 6th. So I took 2 times 3, which is 6. What you do to the denominator, you have to do to the numerator. So 1 times 3 is 3. So I now have 9 and 3/6. 5 and 2/3 times 2 over 2 because I need 5 and 4/6 because I'm converting to 6. So I have 2/3. 2 times 3 is 6. What I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. 2 times 2 is 4. So now I've already added my whole numbers. And now, since I have my common denominators, I can add my fractions. 3 plus 4 is 7. Now, my next step is to simplify. I know that I need to simplify 7/6 because I have an improper fraction. I'm going to do this by dividing, as I showed you in the beginning, and you get a total of 15 and 1/6. Here's another example of uncommon denominators. Again, we find the common denominator. You can either add your whole numbers first or you can do your common denominators. Either step is fine. So 4 plus 2 is 6, and then I'm going to find common denominators for 8 and 6, which the closest was 48. So I have 48, so I took 8 times 6, so I have to take 6 times 3, which gives me 18. I took 6 times 8, which gave me 48, so I have to take it times 8 on the top as well. 5 times 8 is 40. Now I know I need to add, so 58 48ths. Now I need to simplify because I know those are improper. So when I simplify, I get 7 and 10 48ths, but I know that I can make that smaller because they have a common denominator. Therefore, the answer is 7 and 5 24ths. I have another example here that you can go over on your own and just try it and practice to see if you can get the same result. Here are some step-by-step instructions for adding by separate. We have up here 2 1/3 plus 3 3/4, and it just tells you to add the whole numbers first and that kind of like store them, set them aside. So we took 2 plus 3 and we got 5. Now all we have left is 1/3 and 3/4. So that's what we're adding, 1/3 and 3/4. We need to find the common denominators for 1/3 and 3/4, which we turn to 12. So we turn 1/3 to 12ths and 3/4 to 12ths. Once you have the common denominators, you can just simply add. So 4 12ths plus 9 12ths is 13 12ths. Then we need to simplify because we have an improper fraction and you need to convert that to a mixed. Once you do that, you have 1 and 1/12 left. Now remember, we already stored our whole number away and it was a 5. Well, now I have a 1. So I need to add 5 plus 1, which is 6, and my 1/12 just stays the same. Please use this to help review before tomorrow's lesson.